Alright guys, so the fish are here. Well, half of the fish are here. These came from the Wet Spot Tropical Fish. They're based out of, I believe it's Portland, yeah, Portland, Oregon, and they are a great online source and retailer of fish. So I have always had really awesome luck with them in the past, so I'm expecting nothing less than the best out of this package today. I ordered 65 fish total. Not all of them are here. Half of them came from Aquatic Arts, half of them came from the Wet Spot. So I'm going to get these into the quarantine tanks, and I'm going to kind of talk over what I normally do when I get fish in. So the first thing I do is I bring them inside and I leave them in the box. I bring them down in the fish room and I let them acclimate to the temperature of the room down here. That makes it a little less shocking on the fish. The second thing that I do is I use 1 net per bag of fish. And that typically has worked out for me because I've never ordered this large amount of fish. So I might have to do 1 net per quarantine tank. So we'll see how that goes. The night before, I normally prep my quarantine tanks, giving them a final 50% water change. I didn't do that last night because I was running around doing other things. So there's a bit of collected debris and mold in the bottom of some of my quarantine tanks, but I'll take care of that later on. Next thing I do is sterilize my nets. I do a 10-part water to 1 part bleach solution. Very hot tap water. I leave the nets in there for about an hour, and then I dump that water out. Again, just after that's over, I do straight water, very hot tap water, and I let them sit in that sometimes overnight, sometimes for a couple of hours, sometimes until the water gets cold, whatever the day depicts or dictates, and then I let them air dry. So these guys are bone dry, they're sterilized, they're clean, and they're ready to go. So then, as I said, I only use 1 net per bag of fish. In this case, it might be 1 net per quarantine tank. We'll see. I also have a couple of buckets down on the floor that I'm going to be pouring the water into. I have the scissors to open the box of fish, and everything is set up. I also went through last night and I put tags. I don't know if you can see, but I'll show you the quarantine tanks a little closer when the fish are in. But I put tags on the tanks so that when the fish get here, I don't have to scramble and wonder what I'm going to put where. I put tags on the tanks with the number of fish that I'm expecting out of that type of fish and the number of fish that I'm going to have in that quarantine tank total. But let's jump into the box. It's also a good thing for when you get fish in to shut the lights out on the tanks so that it reduces the stress of acclimation. They always include an order form, which I love, so that I can cross-check what I ordered versus what they sent to me. They also have information on acclimating the fish, and I have my own procedures, and they also have the DOA policy, which I am familiar with. It comes with a nice insulated styrofoam liner. My heat pack is still warm, and they've actually put 2 in there, which is awesome. And they're always carefully packaged and carefully wrapped. So I ordered 9 Rasboras Brigitei or Jhuly Rasboras, the wild form. I ordered 9 sparkling Gouramis, 4 wild Scarlet Bettas, 4 Nanostomus breckfordi or Breckford's pencilfish, and 6 Borneo coolie loaches. Some of these came in breather bags. Alright, there's always polyfill inside of the bag. These are the Jhuly Rasboras. What I do upon first inspection is count the number of fish that's in the bag, and then I also see if there are any dead fish. So far, it seems like they're all there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only see 7. All right, I'm only counting 7. So what you want to do when you get your fish in, if it seems like there's an issue, you want to snap a picture of the fish in the bag or have some kind of video to send to the company that you got the fish from, so I can always send them this footage if in truth and in fact there are only 7 fish in the bag. So I'm just going to very carefully pour them into the net, and I always struggle with this part. Then you want to check to make sure there are no fish left in the bag, and I'm going to get them into the tank and recount. So dirty net goes into a different bucket. So yeah, there were only 7 fish in there out of the 9, so I'm missing 2. Not like, you know, extremely big of a deal, but I'll still reach out to them and let them know. These are the sparkling Gourami. These are looking actually really good. Those are the sparkling Gouramis there. Get them into the tank. Now I have quarantined sparkling Gouramis and Jhuly Rasboras together before successfully, and I have what was supposed to be a blackwater tank with these 2 species coexisting beautifully together. So I am actually putting them in the same quarantine tank, and it's based on my past experience going to work out just fine. Ooh, these are looking stunning. All right, and you can see based on the tint of the water, it looks like they were kept in a blackwater setup. These are the 4 Scarlet Bettas. These are wild bettas that you can actually keep in a community. And I'm not worrying to try to get the polyfill out right now. I can remove that later. Look at these guys. Alright, so I'm going to give these guys a few hours to settle in, and I'm going to shut the lights off. And then once they're a little more comfortable, I was going to say acclimated, but it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to really acclimate. But once they're a little bit more comfortable in their tanks, we should be able to get a better picture and visualize them a little easier. So let's give them about an hour or 2, and then once they're a little bit more comfortable and settled in, we'll take a look. So these guys have actually been in here about 2 weeks now, and I haven't lost any of the fish. I actually need to move the bettas into their display tank because they're healthy and they're eating, but there's not a lot of cover. Look, those are nice. So they're not as comfortable in this bare bottom, no decor tank. But those are the pencil fish and the wild bettas. And again, these fish, this now has been about 2 weeks since the last clip that you saw. Down here in this tank are the Jhuly Rasboras and the sparkling Gourami. As you can see, they're doing well. So you can see the loaches are settling in quite nice, and they're exhibiting some of their natural behavior of burying themselves in the sand. So these guys weren't included in the order from the wet spot. These actually came from Aquatic Arts. But I did want to show you that I've got my new imports in for the Hillstream Aquarium upstairs. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'll leave the link for the wet spot down below. And any other information, you'll find it in the description of this video. Again, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Appreciate you liking, watching, following, and subscribing. And we will see you in the next video. Remember, in all things, give thanks, take care, and peace.